As soon as the belief in separation starts to kick in and feel real, feel like there's a separate person here, separate apart from everything else, then there's a tension associated with that. And there is a great desire to erase that feeling, to try to feel whole again. And you may look for it in love from your caregivers. Usually that's what you're going to first look for it in. But many, many things. Your whole life is a quest to erase this feeling. It feels wrong somehow. It feels made up. And yet you go around looking for, well, as you get older, maybe you're going to look for something called meaning, or you're going to try to understand life, or you're going to look for freedom, or you're going to look for something called peace. And all of these are looking for something other or next, and there is no other or next. So an understanding would mean that there's a separate you and a bunch of other separate things and somehow you're going to put them all together into some kind of whole or a place to rest, so that you stop seeking, so that you stop questioning, so that you stop trying to understand. And yet all of the seeking that you're doing perpetuates the feeling and the belief that there's a separate you who can do or not do anything or nothing. And you might find spiritual teachers who tell you that you're going to find something called peace or stillness or enlightenment or awakening. And they might give you all kinds of methods and practices to do in order to recognize this thing that they promise you. And for a lot of people, they find meditation, and it sounds pretty cool. You just watch your thoughts or watch your breath or let your thoughts go or let your emotions be as they are. And all of these practices perpetuate the illusion that there is a you who can do anything or nothing. And especially with a practice like meditation, you feel some peace, you feel some psychological and physical relaxation. So it feels like it's got to be working. You know, if you could only make this feeling of peace go continuous. So you might reach a point, some do, that they realize that all you have ever done or not done has ever given you more than just a brief respite, a brief glimpse of something that you want. And you don't even really know what you want because it really doesn't have a name. It's really not even an it. But it is this feeling of completion or wholeness that I was looking for, and looked for it in many, many ways. So if it's realized that nothing has ever worked, like all of your trying has been putting tiny band-aids on a giant gaping wound, this hole in your heart you felt your entire life. When I realized that nothing had ever worked really, I was just stunned. I couldn't move or do anything. And then it seems like a lifetime of affliction, of feelings that I had tried to stuff or avoid or change or manipulate, just poured like a dam. And instead of filling the hole in my heart, that emptiness that you feel, the hole implodes and explodes simultaneously. And after this roller coaster year of intense sorrow and despair and overwhelming joy, it was realized with a shock that life had always done itself, and that all the trying perpetuated the illusion that you were doing something. And this feeling of seamless ease is magnificent. But there is nothing you can do to get it, because seamlessness is already the case. It's already so that there are no separate things, and there is no separate you doing life. And so deep down this is known, and there's nothing you can do or not do to get it. It's always on. There is no you who can do or not do anything to get it. And there is no meaning or non-meaning. There aren't a bunch of things to understand, to put together. They were never apart. And there is no you who can understand or manipulate what's going on and find something called peace or awakening or enlightenment. So I can't say anything else except for it's just the thought stream of shared learned words that seems to separate what's going on into separate things, like mountains and sky. Without words, there are no separate things. When the thought stream stops for just a moment, all thingness disappears. You disappear. So what does that tell you?